What I want to talk about in this video, a piece of rhetoric that needs to be disarmed, which is the constant claims about the 2020 election being fraudulent and the presidency being occupied by the wrong person. So let's clarify a few things here. First of all the claims that have been made of any electoral college fraud, which is the only place it could occur, because winning the popular vote is meaningless. If anything had occurred that would have caused electoral college fraud and Donald Trump would have actually won that term, here's what would happen if that was discovered to be factual, which it's not, but just I want you to listen and go along. If that was the case, that the 2020 election was fraudulent, a few things would occur as a result. First of all, if Donald Trump was elected successfully in 2020 as the president, despite whoever occupied the office, whatever happened, doesn't matter. According to the United States Constitution, his current term, where he is right now, would become invalid. He would have to vacate the office because the Constitution is very clear about a person cannot be elected more than twice. It doesn't say anything about consecutive. It doesn't say anything about skip, hop, blah, 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 blah. That's not there. So if that was the case, Donald Trump's current term would be invalid. By extension, any subsequent attachments to that appointment would also then become invalid. So J.D. Vance would no longer be vice president, and in fact, it would actually kick the presidency down the succession chain to the Speaker of the House, who is currently Speaker Mike Johnson. So Johnson would immediately ascend as the President of the United States and probably trigger a re-election cycle. And all the cabinet appointments, all the, Hegseth, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, all these appointments that were made by the president, basically his cabinet, would then be nullified, and then they would have to vacate. So Trump is basically advocating against his own legitimacy, just to be clear. That would also mean everything Biden and Harris did would also become invalid. So if it was proven true that the 2020 election was indeed tampered with in some way, if it were to be proven true, it would invalidate 8 years of American federal government movement. Any laws that were written in, basically anything having to do with the executive branch would be overturned. It would be pure chaos. And by constitutional law, by the Constitution, even if Trump could step up and get his cohorts to straighten the situation out, legally speaking, he couldn't do it. Keep that in mind the next time you start hearing about 2020 was stolen. Well, was it? Do you really want to play that out? Do you really want to play it to its end? Keep that in mind. We'll see you next time.